Yaakov John, we are together again for Halachot Shabbat. We left off on page 422. And we spoke that there is... Oh, what happened? John. And we said, do we rule according to Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbi Yossi regarding twilight? Bechor, there is another doubt in Halacha. You know what I like about Bechor? He takes the information from here, it goes over there, he says, we learned the Rabbi, so and so, and then he causes a whole balagan. So you told them, you proved to them?
Я говорю, бабуля немножко гаштыги. Ночью проснулась, 2 яйца положила.
Shako. Guys, pick up your shako.
Birshu, Bechor, yalla shakol.
А где это заряжалка?
Yaakov is not here, Zarjal can hear. ברשות מוריי ורבותיי,
שמיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו.
Amen.
So now, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef tells us there is a debate regarding the exact start of twilight. According to Rabbi Yehuda, twilight begins immediately after sunset and lasts for approximately 13 and a half seasonal minutes. However, Rabbi Yosef maintains that this entire period is still considered daytime, and twilight only begins at the end of this time, lasting for about a minute.
Oh, wow.
So the whole 13 and a half minutes, according to Rabbi Yehuda, is twilight. According to Rabbi Yosef, it's day. Only the last minute is twilight. All the 12 minutes after sunset, it's 100% day, holds Rabbi Yossi in the Gemara. Therefore, if cooking if cooking occurred during this twilight period, according to Rabbi Yehuda, it counts as maybe took place on Shabbat. Whereas according to Rabbi Yosef, it was still considered Friday and not Shabbat at all. While we follow Rabbi Yehuda's opinion strictly regarding Shabbat prohibitions due to severity of its punishment, sekilah, stoning, we do not apply his ruling concerning the prohibition of benefiting from the cooked food. Since this is a rabbinic prohibition and there is a dispute among the authorities, the poskim. David John, welcome. Poskim. Okay? So since we have another reason to be lenient, Rabbi Yosef says, you can be even more lenient. Therefore, if babulia cooked in Ben Hashmashot, sunset it's at 4:30, and at 4:45 it's the deadline. It's at 4:42. That's at the deadline at 4:42 of Tzeta Kochavim. Babulia cooked at 4:35. Or it could happen also in synagogue. Sometimes I see the people in the synagogue plug in the samavar last minute. Sometimes it's past that last minute. or sometimes they put one samavar. And they come, where's the second samavar? Why? Tomorrow I have a Brit Milah here. There's going to be a lot of people. Why there's only one samavar? Oh, no, tapar, you're making all balagan. Fill them the second samavar. Plug it in. It's already Ben Hashmashot time. Now, David, you know halachot, you know all the restrictions, you know all the timing. You look over there, why? They did it on Shabbat. What are you going to tell the people tomorrow?
Okay.
Can they drink from this, or you're going to make balagan? Rabotai, samavar on the right side is all tarif, problems.
So he shouldn't do it, but now that he did it, people can get benefit.
Very good.
Okay, someone did it after Ben Hashmashot. 100% not allowed.
Hefker?
Someone did it after. 20 minutes max.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to warn the people.
Meaning after Tzedakah Kochavim, you mean?
Yeah. So you should warn them, embarrass the person who did it, or not? How do you
No,
know
but
for
you
sure?
could still get benefit from it. After Tzedakah Kochavim, somebody did it. Besides him, everybody else can benefit, no?
Besides him, everybody else can benefit. I'm not sure.
Someone did it on Shabbat.
Somebody plugged it after Tzedakah
That's
Kochavim.
not allowed to.
No.
Nobody's allowed to eat from it.
You warned the shul.
Nobody in the synagogue,
So
outside the synagogue, nobody in the world can have it on Shabbat.
So after Tzedakah Kochavim, you have to tell everybody, guys,
Yeah.
don't touch it.
If that
Sorry, man,
action,
someone-
chas v'shalom, took place, they added water in the samavar, or not added water, that's not the right word.
They plugged it in.
They plugged it in. Why they have added water is not gonna be a problem, because if you remember, we learned that the restrictions of cooking, benefiting from the cooked food on Shabbat is only
The Rabban.
Rabbanan, and it's the very low level the Rabbanan, and therefore it nullifies by majority. Remember? We said you have 20 cups in the samovar, and the guy comes and fills another 10 cups. On Shabbat morning he does it. 100% Shabbat. Good. After 2 hours, the water is hot. All 30 cups worth of water, hot. Can you drink the water or no?
Yes.
He ignited on Shabbat the system because you put the more water, he got
That's
ignited.
my question before.
He cooked the other
So
10
the
cups
goy.
on Shabbat.
Goy does it.
Majority.
The goy in the shul.
What do? Follow the majority.
Oh, so this is chidush now.
No, but the guy of the shul usually will do. What do you want to call a tzala for that one? The guy of the shul usually is not going to fill up whenever there is 10 cups to 20 cups.
So only
Rather,
only if you
he's
have
going to
majority.
fill up the whole thing or
The
majority.
whole thing no good. But only 49% and less, no problem.
Again, you talking, Rabbi, can we benefit?
Yeah.
The
I want to
question
drink
is-
some tea.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to tell him to do that.
No, but he did it by himself.
Yeah, if he did it already and the majority of it was kosher,
I don't know, so fake.
no, if you don't know, you cannot.
Because some of it went down. That's why
No,
he filled it up.
you don't know, you cannot.
He filled it up.
Grandma, it doesn't cook it right away.
Remember, the cold water goes in contact with the hot water in Kli Rishon, it gets cooked
The
right
bottom one
away.
cooks, bottom one.
Bottom and cooks. The system will not turn on right away. That's what you want to say.
How does it get cooked? Does it
There is, Rabotai, constantly confusion between laws of igniting and the laws of cooking. Don't confuse them. Like this lady that comes home at 4:15, Shabbat is at 4:30, and she says, I didn't cook on Shabbat. She turned on the fire before Shabbat thinking I'm allowed to add ingredients, mix, close the pot, open the pot, do whatever I want. I don't cook on Shabbat. I turn on the fire before Shabbat. Dear lady, you turn on the fire before Shabbat. There's igniting violations. And what about cooking violations? There's two separate halachot. You understand? So the samovar does not ignite immediately when you added the 10 cups of water over 20 cups that was pre-existing already.
okay?
So only if you have majority.
But the current water
That cook.
got cooked
Even
from the heat of the 20 cups of water of the 20 cups.
okay.
Got it?
What
Yaakov,
if-
you
what if-
understand?
What if a Jew did this, not the goy?
I'm saying even a Jew.
Even a Jew. Majority.
So you need majority of the water, already hot water. Just they shouldn't fill it up. But if they did it, others can, including even himself, can benefit.
Everybody can enjoy from it.
And what's the reason? Because the first reason is grama. Because
No,
it
no, no,
doesn't-
no, 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 no.
No.
100% of right violation happened
How?
because we follow the majority. Period. That's the only reason.
What's the majority?
Majority 20 cups. The samovar already had
Oh,
20
you're cooking.
cups.
You're cooking the cold water, right?
You're cooking another 10 cups.
Okay.
Now you have samovar filled up with 30 cups.
Okay.
Where is the 10 cups I violated the Shabbat with? Where is the 20? They all got mixed.
But it,
So whenever I have no way to identify something, what's the rule is?
Well,
I follow.
because
The
you can
majority.
identify.
Got it? Bechor Famidim? Very good.
how do we get to conclusion following a majority?
That's the rule. The poskim said, since that's a very lower level, the Rabbanan. Remember in the morning I told you there's 3 levels of the Rabbanan.
Yes.
One is the Rabbanan that looks like Torah. One is the Rabbanan that can lead you to Torah. It doesn't look like Torah. And one, the Rabbanan, that is penalty. Chachamim did not want people to do whatever they want and break the rules and enjoy from it after. So they put a penalty on it.
The lowest level.
Got it?
The majority.
Imagine there was a sign of cleaning streets, right? And there would not be a penalty if you don't move the car.
Right.
How many people move the car?
Nobody.
Nobody. It says, please don't park here on this time because they needed to clean that street.
Right.
And if you go outside, everybody will park. Why?
No penalty.
No penalty. So if there'll be a situation that people put rules, the government will put rules, but no penalty. People will follow that or no?
Changes a little.
Understand? Very good. We do not apply his ruling concerning the action, but for the prohibition of benefiting from the cooked food, since this is a rabbinic prohibition and there is a dispute among the poskim authorities. Among the poskim, it remains a case of a doubt in rabbinic law, and we apply the principle of safek de rabbanan lekula. So bottom line, Bechor, Shabbat 4:30, sunset, nitzet kochavim, sunset at 4:30. At 4:35, somebody added water. Bottom line, can you drink this water or no? Fill up the whole samavar from A to Z. Can you drink this water or no? According to our Torah, yes. Because when did they do it? At twilight time. Maybe Shabbat, maybe not Shabbat. Because they did it in the twilight time, at Padva Prosem, to do it, it was not allowed to. To benefit from it, it is allowed to.
Okay. If Shabbat's coming in 4:30, can you turn on the water right before Shabbat? You know it's going to continue into Shabbat.
And then what? Which water? Samavat? To fill up the samavat?
You just turn it on.
And then what?
Then you wait.
It's already plugged in?
Yeah, it's already plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
no halal ben dorsai over here.
That's the rule we say, that you're allowed to press the button of a machine, let's say laundry machine. Can I press the button of the laundry machine minute before Shabbat, and it's going to wash it 2 hours on Shabbat, let's say.
Okay.
Can I do that or no?
Yes.
I press the minute before Shabbat, it started.
It's still continuing.
Then it's going to continue on Shabbat. Allowed or no?
Yes.
Allowed? That's your
There's no
question.
halal ben dorsai in water. You don't need at least half cooked like meat.
But that's not open fire. Samavar is not an open fire.
Also, if it's not open fire, you can even put from zero, right?
It's covered.
Like
the-
like for
The fire is covered over there. Oh, shalom aleichem.
on platter, you can put like a slow cooker. Slow cooker, you can put cholent.
No,
Nothing.
slow
cooked.
cooker is the way of cooking. Not allowed to. That's the normal way of cooking. Okay? So that's why if Babula cooked and Ben Hashmashot, or anybody, Yehudi, Goy, doesn't matter who, cooked and Ben Hashmashot, you're not allowed to do that, but if they did it, you're allowed to eat from it.
One second. So if it's a covered fire, you don't need anything cooked, half cooked,
You don't need
like the meat or food. You don't want it to be 50% cooked. You can just put everything raw, let it cook by itself.
covered fire?
I mean,
Plata?
I thought there's no difference. I thought
No,
you
there
need
is.
to-
Of course, there's a difference.
So if it's,
Only on open fire is the problem. If it is closed fire, it's not a problem.
you can put even from zero.
Yeah,
Nothing cooked.
yeah, even 5%,
So slow
10%.
cooker is open fire or
Before Shabbat, he's talking.
so slow cooker is open fire.
Yeah, by Jewish law, slow cooker, it's considered to be open fire. Because it's the normal way of cooking. People cook on slow cookers all week long.
So that you need at least half cooked.
Right. Or cover it with falga, with foil, and that's it. Ah, shalom, John. Shalom leben dodi. Ah, Bechor?
Oh,
Just all.
батарейку умирает.
Okay. It's good. This way it's not going to be bothering us with your phone.
Сейчас я под...
На книге кто ставит телефон, Бехор?
А куда поставить? Упадет.
Уберите чуть книгу.
А? На
По
горбушку?
стол, на, поставьте на стул, на. Не больше, чем. На. Okay, next. We are on page Bechor 427.
Why?
A food was transported by car on Shabbat from outside the Eruv in a manner that violates the biblical prohibition. Is it allowed to eat it or no? Huh? They brought it from outside the Eruv of biblical prohibition
You're right.
by car. Your babulia lives in upstate New York. She drove for a bar mitzvah of her grandson with the osvo from upstate New York to Queens. On Shabbat she drove.
But it was indirectly.
Can you eat this osvo or no? Let's say it's kosher osvo. You have your cousin lives with her. He's a fanatic. He's not going to let anything go wrong.
Osvo wasn't
Osvo is 100% kosher ingredients, cooked kosher, akol kosher. Just Babulia, not Shomer Shabbat, unfortunately, drove that Oswa with her from upstate New York all the way to Queens on Shabbat morning.
It wasn't being actively breaking Shabbat, so she was driving. Yeah, it happened to be in the car also.
No happened, she took it to the car.
Okay, so I don't think you could benefit from it.
So we're talking about 2 violations here.
One violation, I mean 2 violations, she drove outside the Eruv.
But then in general, you're allowed to eat it.
So that's the question. Says Rav Ovadia, if food was transported by car on Shabbat from outside the Eruv in a way that violates biblical prohibition, it remains allowed to eat.
Because he's not actively
Is
being
the
dishonest.
Rashba's site? In the name of Rabbi Yonah, the food is not prohibited since no change was made to the food itself. A person drove candies. Some relative came to a party of yours, Brit Milah, Bar Mitzvah, whatever, Shabbat Hatan, and he drove in candies, cookies, whatever. Can you throw these candies and let people eat it on Shabbat or no? He drove it right now in his car.
Yeah.
So by the letter of the law, since his violation of Shabbat did not change the candy in his house and the candy in the synagogue is the same candy. Therefore, the penalty of don't benefit from Shabbat violations does not apply to them.
But it's better not to eat or not?
Letter of the law, it's allowed. Now, it's up to the rabbi to know the situation. Some situations, if you're going to be tough, you're going to lose the people. Some situations, opposite. If you're going to be tough, you're going to gain the people. People are going to be more serious about the laws of Shabbat. So it all depends on what's in front of the rabbi. It's up to the rabbi decision. Halacha allows it 100%. The person can eat it. Yes.
Let's go back to yesterday's topic with the eggs.
Eggs.
Put the eggs on Shabbat.
So eggs was raw. If they ate it on Shabbat or cracked it on Shabbat and made the sunny side up, this is changed. Raw egg became cooked egg. This 100% not allowed.
In Oshua.
And also in a pan, whatever.
It says it's
Asur, 100% asur.
And how about yesterday? You said if you
But if it was mixed with other eggs, and I don't know which egg was the one that violated Shabbat, with which egg was before Shabbat, then I can go lenient, Safek de Rabbanan, or follow the majority. Follow the majority better.
but if there's,
I'm going lenient.
if there's 2 eggs, you added 5.
Also, right now, Bechor.
Yeah, это spaghetti.
Okay.
If there was 2 eggs and now there's, let's say, 7, you're still allowed to eat all of them?
Bechor, it's Kemach Yashan? How do you know?
Doesn't matter now.
I'm
a rabbi.
Habibi, Bechor is going to become Rabbi Bechor soon. What's your last question?
If there's 2 eggs, now there's 7, you're allowed to eat all of them?
2 eggs out of the 5.
Вопрос.
They added 5.
Yeah, there was 5 already before Shabbat.
No, there's 2 before Shabbat.
And she added 5?
Added 5.
So majority is prohibited. You're not allowed
Now
to.
hold them.
Yeah, everything is asur.
Pizza.
Yeah? What's your question, Bechor?
Мне сказали, это
In
бабуля.
English.
Babuля in the night put 2 eggs. Everybody can allow, бабуля not allowed because она нарушила. Это правда?
What? There was other 5 eggs there or no? Or only 2 eggs she put?
Да. 5 inside,
Was already?
yes. And 2 she ate.
Everything is allowed for everybody, including Babula.
Они со мной спорили полчаса. Я говорю, бабуля может кушать, она немножко поехала. Они говорят, не, поехала, это не работает.
No, allowed. Everybody allowed. Because we follow the majority. Since there is no way to indicate which eggs is what, everything is allowed.
She definitely did cook.
100% violated.
For cooking it's allowed, but then on Yom Tov, if the chicken puts the eggs and 1 egg before Yom Tov was 10, but now it's 11, suddenly all of them are muktzah.
Yeah, because we explained why. We said that there is a concept called that knocks down the concept of follow the majority. There is a counterclaim called davar sheyesh lo matirim, a matter that will be a permitted time for it.
After time.
So since after Yom Tov or Shabbat, this pile of 11 eggs that you presented, will all of them will be allowed? Yeah, without any
Before
doubt.
Shabbat, after Shabbat.
Hold
everything will be allowed.
on. On Yom Tov, these eggs, it's forbidden to everybody. Yeah. After Yom Tov, it'll be allowed for everybody. Yes. Let's take Shabbat case. On Shabbat, Babulia violated Shabbat. Is the violation purposely? Is it forbidden for her on Shabbat?
Yes.
Is it allowed for others on Shabbat?
Yes.
On Shabbat?
Depends how much majority.
On Shabbat? No majority. 7 eggs she cooks, 7 eggs she...
No.
Everybody forbidden?
No,
Good.
forbidden.
After Shabbat, is she allowed to have the eggs?
No.
Others?
Yes. Oh, you see, because not
So you say
everybody-
there is not equal laws. It cannot be compared to the egg that was laid on
I
Shabbat.
have news for you.
or
You
on Yom
said
Tov.
once you said if she did it beshogeg, even for her is allowed after Shabbat.
Right.
So now there you go.
Oh. Now you start thinking. Start thinking. We're gonna deal with your question. Babulia cooked 1 egg on Shabbat by mistake. She forgot it's Shabbat, or she didn't know it's not allowed. Be'emet she didn't know. She's not lying. Can she have this egg on Shabbat? No. Can she have this egg after Shabbat?
Yes.
Yes, because she did by mistake. So ask Rabbi Amir, says Rabbi. So then on Shabbat it's asur for everybody, and after Shabbat it's allowed for everybody. So then it's comparable to
Muktzah.
the egg that was laid on Yom Tov, because on Yom Tov everybody forbidden, and after Yom Tov everybody allowed. So the cases are comparable. So therefore the restriction of davar shesh lo matirin, and therefore the laws of nullification should be annulled, and the eggs should be remain forbidden, should apply. True. So you want to be strict in a mistaken
If
way.
you're strict in a
So
Rabbanan
says
matter,
Avadia, hold on a second. Look, let's right now analyze the equation. If you'll tell people, if you cook purposely, the mixture allowed to you. Why? Because it's never going to be allowed. So there never going to be a time that it will be allowed. So therefore, everything is allowed for you now. He did it purposely, knowing not allowed to, still you're allowing him the mixture. And the second babulia, they didn't know anything. By mistake she did it. Said no, you everything is asur. So how does it make sense that the guy that was more strict,
Did not.
more violate the rules, more severe, you're more lenient? You told babulia don't cook the egg, asur. She didn't listen. She did it b'mezid. Why do you say Chai babulia? You had majority kosher. Yalla, follow the majority. And the second guy,
so
Yosef,
they're right.
the second guy, babulia, that didn't do it purposely, but made by mistake she did it. You said no, everything is asur. That doesn't make sense. Because after Shabbat it will be allowed. So since you have a time that it will be allowed, wait for that time and don't rely on the nullification laws right now.
Muktzah is Rabbanan. This is also Safek the right. You're
No,
the
the
right.
דבר שיש לו מתירים concept is the Rabbanan also. Got it? אליהו, איפה אתה? אליהו, ג'ון. אייק. Tzaddik Eliyahu. You know, David, the other day I called Eliyahu. I said, Eliyahu, I need your help. Rabbi, where are you? Tzaddik. באמת, אליהו, כל הכבוד for that. I will never forget that.
I hope everything worked out.
Yeah. God bless you.
What's the answer?
I answered you.
Yes.
I answered you that since the equation will not be right, it's not right that babulia that made my mistake violation. You say now all the eggs forbidden. Wait until after Shabbat for all the eggs. 5 were kosher, 2 were she added. Now which one is what? We don't know. Don't take a risk. Everything is forbidden. And another babulia that were told not to put the eggs inside, Bemezid went ahead and did it. Babulia did it. Chabe said all the 7 eggs are allowed.
Why? Yeah, why?
Is it fair?
No.
So therefore, says Avadia, we have to unplug this concept of davar sheyesh lo matirim restriction that takes away the majority rule. Take it out. It doesn't apply to the laws of Shabbat. And therefore, what? Therefore, we back to follow majority rules. So therefore, if Babulia had 5 eggs already, you hear? Shamuel John was already inside the ospo, and she found out that there is more people coming, and she added another 2 eggs on Shabbat. And she cooked all the eggs, those 2 eggs on Shabbat. Shabbat morning, there's 7 eggs over here. And you remember when she asked you on Friday to help her in the kitchen? Put 5 eggs. Babulia, how 5 eggs became 7 eggs? What's the halakha? Can you eat those? You know that she added those 2 eggs on Shabbat. Can you eat all 7 eggs or no?
Yes.
Yes. Understood?
Or if you can identify those two.
You could identify, then you cannot. Not allowed.
Meaning you put like some tea
The
bag.
concept of majority is whenever it's not definable.
So if you can identify them, what do? You remove them, you put them on the side?
Yeah.
But then now you're removing something that was boreh.
Bore. I was waiting for you to say that. So then takes with some of those all together. Huh?
It's not like so. It's like a one pot of eggs only. But you know how.
So take the good ones out.
But
Don't take the bad ones out.
was in the
I
pot,
need it immediately.
you put beads, the peel of the beads, for it to turn into like purple eggs, like a tochma shabbati.
Techumi Shabbat?
So they turn like brown, like whatever.
Brown?
But if you put
With the
put
peel
tea
of what?
bags. No, you put like
Tea bags I know, but the other one you
beads,
said.
beads,
Beads?
beads. You put inside just the peels. They're red.
This is the Persian tricks here.
So-
Put beads inside eggs
Now, on
to
Shabbat
become
you put-
brown.
If you put two,
How does it become brown though?
I'll show you in our house. We did.
Uh,
If you put two new eggs on Shabbat, they are still white, so you could tell difference.
If it's identify, as you said, it's possible to identify. You're right. Okay, very good. Next one. So remember, bottom line: the candies were driven to the synagogue on Shabbat. Allowed to eat that candies or no? Some relative of yours brought you a bottle of vodka on Shabbat. Can you drink? You drove it in.
Yeah, the vodka you can drink.
Don't change the style of the vodka. Mutar.
That's what
Very good. Since it didn't change the status, not the style, the status of the vodka,
Yes.
there is no restriction to
What
drink.
if they were bringing you ice cream and on the way over here it melted? Now you wanna? Can you drink the melted
Yeah,
ice
it
cream
didn't melt because of the car.
Yeah.
It melted
Hot.
because you were outside.
outside?
Anytime you'll be outside, you'll melt. Yes.
I have a question about you about the cooking of Shabbat. So if you open it
Voice side.
and you close it, it's not allowed.
I can't hear you.
If you open the lid, it's not allowed, and then you close it. But then you said if I put on a closed fire, I can
Yeah, Ivon is lishu. I can't hear you. You have to
If I
deal
put
with
on a
it.
closed fire. It's allowed to open, to stir it.
On the open fire or closed fire?
Yeah, then
What about closed fire?
it's not cooked. Put it right before Shabbat. And let it cook throughout Shabbat until Shabbat morning. I could open it, stir it.
When it's fully cooked, you're allowed to open the pot,
No, it's not
stir it.
cooked. It's not cooked.
It's not cooked, you're not allowed to open the pot.
Even on a closed fire.
Yeah, because you're cooking it.
No, because you were saying something else about closed fire today, no?
No, we said if it is closed fire, he asked, can I leave raw food before Shabbat on a closed fire and let it cook on Shabbat? Or I have to have it 50% cooked? That was his question. The answer, if the fire is fully closed, you don't worry about this 50% business. You're allowed to put, even if it's 5% cooked. Right. Because the fire is closed. Only when you want to leave on an open fire, then you need the food to be at least 50% cooked or more.
Oven the same thing?
Yeah.
Change?
You at the open fire. Yeah, it's a normal way of cooking.
But oven, the fire is closed.
It's Shabbat morning.
The idea is normal way of cooking or no? Like crock pot. Can I leave food on a crock pot 50% cooked if it's going to be served for Friday night?
No, let's make a change.
I have to make a change. It's very common when people have Shabbat Chatan, many times they put those crock pots, Yavagon crock pots, they put, and they serve hot fish with them. Moroccan fish, other type of fish. They put and they serve. I saw this in many places.
אבל יש תמיד מחיצה, אבל אם זה יש מחיצה זה כמו...
Right, if they covered with aluminum foil or something, then you're right. But if they just the way it is, the mashgiach is am haaretz, it doesn't know much.
טוב, אחר כך הם... They don't want to wash it.
No, they said that. The insert, pot is insert.
They have to wash that too.
True, but why do you have to? Why they should put a falgaya, a foil inside for what?
For it not to get dirty. For the thing, not to touch the thing.
Listen, if it's covered, it's allowed. If it's not covered, it's not allowed for Friday night. Period. That's it.
Wait, why that for Friday night? Why is it?
Because for Shabbat morning, we learned it in the third volume. For Shabbat morning, some allow even on an open fire
Because you're not worried about it?
because you're not worried about it. I have time until Shabbat morning. But something you're gonna serve Shabbat at a Friday night, you don't have time. So Chazal were afraid you're gonna play with the fire. That's you have to be habit covered fire. Say, oh, I will not play with the fire. The fire is covered.
So you use crock pot for Saturday only. You make cholent or so in there.
Right. That's how Yosef allowed it. But still, it says safek sveka. It's not glad kosher to do. Maybe because it's the crock pot, it's the metal thing is like this, straight. The insert, it's tilted. So there is a space between the metal and the black insert. Since that space was over there, Ramban holds that it's not considered to be atmana. Only when it's touching the pot, then it's atmana, he holds. So So Rav Yosef says it's disagreement, it's machloket. Do we hold like him or not? And then there's another machloket for the morning. So he combines two machlokot, Safek Sveka, and he allows it. But he also says it's not the best. He says the best is that you should have it closed, the crock pot. But if you didn't, kasher.
What do you mean by close?
You see, I told you, they were better without battery for you.
What does that mean by close?
Separation.
The aluminum, falga, pasta.
Does it matter where?
On the metal.
As long as
The metal, the metal, the outside metal thing,
outside metal. Okay.
close it with falga. That's it. With aluminum foil. Got it? Very good.
Да, вопрос пришел, Кодора.
Not enough from you, also from your cell phone.
Да. Почему у нас один
In English, Bechor, just Amir Sidi.
one day Rosh Chodesh or 2 days Rosh Chodesh?
That's not our topic right now.
Okay.
There's, I told it to you last time, Bechor.
I forgot.
Hang on.
Shnai Mikra, Hat Targum. There is cycle of the moon around the earth, 29 and a half days.
Every other month, 2 days.
So, Rosh Chodesh is a completion of a cycle of the moon around the earth. You cannot keep half day Rosh Chodesh. The cycle completes itself on 29 and a half. 29 and a half. Gemara gives us the, I don't remember, 8th or 9th decimal point. You know what decimal point is? 29 point, the last number. Gemara says, какое время он будет?
Да.
NASA, with all technology, all these things, got almost to the same number we knew already thousands of years ago. So since we cannot do half of day Rosh Chodesh, the second half not Rosh Chodesh, so what do? We borrow and pay. Borrow and pay. So last month, let's say, you made 29 day, right? Then you made the next day.
30 days.
You made the next day Rosh Chodesh, but only half of it is Rosh Chodesh. The second half, the first half is not Rosh Chodesh. So you took credit, right? You took out from Yom Hol, you made it Rosh Chodesh. Now next month you're gonna have to pay back. That's the next month is going to be 29th day, 30th day of this month. The 30th will be Rosh Chodesh, and the first of the next month is going to be another day of Rosh Chodesh. But at Palamina Sudayjot, Palamina Sudayjot. Because of that, it's always going to be 1 day, 2 days. 1 day, 2 days.
Is it always?
Not always, sometimes it's jumps, because we also have to make another system. The Torah says you need to keep Chodesh Aviv, Veshamarta et Chodesh Aviv. You know, the Muslims have Ramadan one time during the summer, one time during the winter. We also count for them according to the moon. Why we don't have Devonagi like this, like they have? We always have Pesach on spring. Always. The Torah says, I want you to maintain this way. Pesach, always on spring. Veshamarta et Chodesh Aviv. Veshamarta, make sure that Pesach is going to be on spring.
Yes.
How do I make sure? The seasons according to the solar system. The holidays according to the lunar system. How many days there is in the solar system? 365. How many days there is in the lunar system? 354. There's 11 days apart. So every year there's 11 days we go behind with the solar one. So in 3 years you're already 1 month behind. In 9 years you're already 3 months behind. Значит, заместо spring you're gonna be already in the winter making Pesach. It's gonna be balagan. That's what Torah says. Make sure you're gonna make Pesach on spring. So what do? Every 3 years we add another month for this 11 days. Stayot Adar Aleph, I Adar Be. But then there's another 3 days left because you made 33 days, right? One Adar is 30 days. You have another 3 days. So then it accumulates again. So like this, it comes out that in 19 years we have 7 times 2 Adars. So that's why sometimes it jumps 2 years, 3 years, sometimes it jumps 2 years to make up those 3 days. Famidim. Okay, back to us. Bochi.
I'm sorry. We were told if a lady is actively bleeding while she is nida,
and she's not allowed to look at Sefer Torah. Is that true or not? And if it is it halacha or Kabbalah?
No, it's not halacha.
It's Kabbalah.
Yeah,
Kabbalah.
yeah,
There's a source for this?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Better for them not to look
Why?
at the Sefer Torah.
What does one have to
Better is not halacha, not
No, but
halacha.
what does one
Kabbalistic
have
things.
to do with the other one? What's not
Oh.
according to Kabbalah? What's
This you have to come for Shabbat morning. You have to grab you here, grab you back.
357.
No, not 357. We made right Baruch She'amar 6:30. We made Baruch She'amar 6:30.
Yeah, but to do korbanot, to do the kofar.
Baruch She'amar 6:30.
Yeah, but half an hour prayer before, then you have to wake up another half hour before. Then
So this already up to you. Back to us. What does it mean? There is no difference for you between a rabbinic prohibition that involves an action and one that does not involve an action. Similarly, the Gemara in Masechet Eruvin ruled that there is no difference between a rabbinic prohibition involving an action and one that does not, meaning a change in the object's physical state. Yeah? Gemara says a question. Listen to this question, Bechol. Gemara says, are you allowed is there a difference in halakha between Isur de Rabbanan, that there was an action done, and other Isur de Rabbanan, there was no action done? Is there a difference or no? Gemara says there is a difference.
What do you mean?
Example, if you remember the famous story we dealt with, there was a Brit Milah supposed to be done on Shabbat in the Gemara days. And back in the day, how they used to sanitize Brit Milah? There was no alcohol, all these type of things.
Hot water.
Hot water. Now Gemara says they used to prepare this hot water before Shabbat. And on Shabbat, you used to take this bucket of hot water, take it, and wash the baby's Brit Milah with that. This way they sanitize the Brit Milah, everything is clean in their ways. Come Shabbat, hot water was prepared. Somebody spilled the water. Spilled it, kids were running around, Eliyahu were dancing, whatever happened, the hot water spilled.
Yeah, that actually realistic.
Yeah, I know.
Realistic.
Hot water spilled. Now they told the rabbi said, they came to Rabbi, he was not here. Rabbi John, Shimesho, Brit Milah, 1,000 people in the synagogue, what are we going to do? There is no hot water. The Mohel cannot do Brit Milah without hot water, back in the day.
Cook water.
No, he said, go tell a goy to bring it from his house, from a rabbi's house. Rabbi had in his house hot water, Ovi Josh. That's the proof he was Bukharian.
So drive there out of the.
No drive. You say, walk over there in my house, I have hot water, and bring it to the synagogue. In between the house and the synagogue, there was no eruv. So I cannot bring it. Rabbi said, tell a goy to bring it.
Was carrying is Rabbana.
Right, because carrying in this situation is the Rabbanan.
For the sake
You're
of
allowed to tell the goy to do Isur the Rabbanan for the sake of Brit Milah, mitzvah. Good? Bechor, good?
Yes.
Remember, we did that.
Yes.
Comes Abaye, said, I have a question, Rav Yosef. Comes to Rabbi, you heard what the rabbi said? John, Halachan's night story. How did you say this? Let the Brit Milah finish, then we'll talk. Hi, Brit Milah finished. Rabbi Yosef can say, Abaye, what was your question? So listen, I remember if a person became tameh, he touched the dead person. In order to purify him, you need to sprinkle on him
Cow.
ashes of the red cow on the third day and on the seventh day. What if the third day or the seventh day, papal Shabbat? Can you sprinkle on him on Shabbat or no? Chachamim said no.
Why?
So says Abaye, why? Because you purifying the person. Person was tameh. You right now change the status. You fixed the person. Are you allowed to fix something on Shabbat? No. So Chachamim said you're not allowed to fix a person also. So says Rabbi to Rav Yosef, how did Rava said to the goy, are you allowed to tell the goy to do Isur? On Shabbat, can I tell the goy turn on a fire? Huh? No. So how come Rava, our big rabbi, said to the goy, go bring it from my house? I'll bring it from the house. You're not allowed to tell the goy to violate Shabbat. Why? Because it's Asur Derabanan. Sprinkling on Shabbat is also Asur Derabanan. So this sprinkle, Chazal said you're not allowed to do on Shabbat. Kohen in Bet HaMikdash will not be allowed to sprinkle the ashes of the red cow. So how can Rabbi say to the goy, go bring the hot water for the Brit Milah? Sprinkling is mitzvah, Brit Milah is mitzvah. This he said allowed. Why this is not allowed? Both the Rabbanan.
I give the answer.
Tell us.
This is Pikuach Nefesh.
No.
Hashem said.
Not Pikuach Nefesh.
You are anti. You are.
Don't do Brit Milah. Push it for Sunday.
Hashem said leave.
Why? Hashem.
Question,
said-
Bechor.
Cannot take a red like this.
Bechor question. A person came to Brit Milah. Everybody came. Mohel forgot his tools. What is he going to do? Cut with his mouth? What is he going to do?
Go bring your tools.
No, he cannot. There is no roof. Chodelet.
He could wait anyway.
All people are over here. What are we going to tell him?
Откусить.
No, that's according to your Torah. What about our Torah? We push the Brit to Sunday.
Wow.
Why?
You cannot do the Brit. There is no whatever needed to be done.
Yes, boy.
How can you forget?
No good.
Ah,
Can you tell the guy to bring it? Can you bring it yourself? No.
how about the Shinoy?
Whatever. If the public domain outside is the right, even Shino is not going to help. Right? So question is now, Abai asked Rav Yosef, how Rabbi told to the guy, go bring it from my house. Now it's in Yetu. What are you going to say? Tell the guy it's Asur Derabanan. From Mitzvah it's allowed. Sprinkling is also Asur Derabanan. Why for sake of purifying the guy to be pure and to do mitzvot is not allowed? What Rabbi Yosef told him? Say, Abai Joe, how can you compare him with the question? By the case you told the guy, was there any action that you did? No. Whenever the Kohen sprinkles the ashes of the red cow, is there action that the Jew doing?
Yes.
So we see clear difference between violation that involves action and violation that there was no action. Says Rabbi, take that concept and plug it into the vodka that was driven on Shabbat. Whenever a guy made vodka on Shabbat, it's a violation that had action. But whenever the guy drove vodka on Shabbat, it's a violation that the vodka itself, there was no any action. What are you going to say, Rabbi? Who cares? There was a violation. You see, we care. Gemara clearly said that the reason you're allowed to tell the guy, go and bring the water, even though there is no eruv outside. Why? Because I only told the guy. I didn't do any action. You see that a violation that was involving no action is more lenient. A violation that involved action, sprinkling, it's more strict. So that's if somebody made vodka on Shabbat, you will not be allowed to drink this vodka on Shabbat. But if somebody drove in vodka that was already made, like we bought it before Shabbat in the store and drove it to you on Shabbat, this you're allowed to drink on Shabbat. He made a violation, he broke the rules. But it doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to benefit from the vodka. Because the vodka was no any action. Rabotai, you see how chacham you gotta be to connect things like this is crazy. How lucky we are that we have together this class, that we learn Halachot Shabbat made by Rabbi Ovadia
We have you.
Yosef.
We have you to teach us.
Нельзя сказать,
Explain
принеси
it.
лезвие, чтобы порезать. Он что ж только сказал?
You could. Let's say there is no goy, I said. If the Brit Milah came, the tools, there was no goy. You have to postpone it for Sunday. So why over here Rabbi said, go bring the hot water? Because he told the goy it was available, the hot water, but he didn't do a violation. He didn't bring it himself. By the sprinkling, there is a violation that was involving an action. And violation that was involving an action is more chamur than the one that does not involve an action. Bechor Famidim, Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen.